Hi, Sadaf.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. Beauty editor.
Yes.
Yay.
Fashion editor, beauty editor. I've done it all.
You've done it all.
I've done it all.
All
I've
right.
done it all, babe. Let's go.
Okay, let's go. All right. So, I don't know where to start.
Where does one start?
What is a beauty editor? What is a fashion editor?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because
Yeah.
I feel like the meaning of that has changed over time. Actually, it's so funny. So funny, we've gone off script here already, haven't we? That wasn't part of the questions. I'm a very type A, by the way. I like to prepare my questions. I have my notes here. But I guess I was actually talking to another beauty editor about this recently, and it's like, I feel like the traditional beauty editor is no longer. It's no longer, well, we know now magazines have folded.
So that is where beauty editor began.
To me, that's like where the beauty editor, And I think we'll touch on this later, but think about when I or you or we started our generation in magazines and the Glossy magazine era, there wasn't even such thing as like social media, Instagram, which is crazy to think about. There was no internet.
Well, maybe there was internet,
we're not
but
that old.
It was actually,
it was a time of the dinosaurs.
There was dial-up. Sorry.
Yeah, dial-up.
Sorry, I'm not a dinosaur.
Today's kids will never know.
Yeah.
But and so now I think both fashion and beauty editors are so multifaceted. Like there's video, like whether you write for a website, you're cross-pollinating, cross-channel pollinating, so you're writing beauty articles and reviews and you're trying to democratize it more, but you're also creating videos and TikToks and giving your tips and receiving tips as a beauty editor or interviewing people. Like we might interview a derm on a podcast or on a TikTok, and that kind of medium wasn't really part of our PDs before. It wasn't really a thing.
Well, you were. It was written, right?
Yeah,
it wasn't,
everything was written.
You weren't in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And
everything's
everything's now so front-facing.
Exactly, which I think is a good thing because I think even I have a short attention span sometimes, but also I think I love reading an article on tips and having it saved so I can share it with friends. But I think it's also nice to see someone apply something and talk about, like a makeup artist, talk about their favourite products and share that information in a different way.
Yep. So where did it all begin for you?
Gosh.
How did you end up in this
crazy world?
Are you a beauty editor now? Is that what your title would be? Yeah.
I guess, my official title now is Senior Beauty Editor. But I think because I worked in fashion for like 10 years and then beauty in the last 6, I would say like encompassing lifestyle, I guess. Probably, but my official title now is Beauty Ed.
Yeah.
But I started in fashion, so in the industry almost 15 years ago. Well, whatever 2009 is, what's that? It's probably more than 15 years.
17.
17, there you go. So my first job was... but who's counting? Now everyone's going to do them. No one talk about how old I am, but... Yeah, it was 2009, I think it was my first job, junior fashion ed at Famous magazine, which was a weekly title. And I will say to this day, I think it set a really good tone for deadlines.
Okay.
Because where I work now is so fast-paced.
Yeah.
We almost work as if we're a weekly title.
Yeah.
Our sends go every week, and we have 7 sends a week. So I think that really helped me to be able to work in a fast-paced environment. Like if there was a royal wedding or a red carpet, it's like you were working overtime, you weren't billing over hours, you were working till 6:30, sometimes 8, and you were churning out that content real fast. So I think that set a good tone. Then I moved over to being the fashion editor at Girlfriend magazine.
Oh my gosh. Girlfriend.
Which was just such a dream. I think to this day, that's probably like the best job I ever had. Like in terms of like creativity, fun, the cool stuff I got to do, which I'm sure we'll touch on later, like the celebs. Like it was just a whole different era.
Yeah, no, let's touch on that now. What did that role at Girlfriend entail? What were you doing?
So I think something that's kind of missing now, although I actually wouldn't go backwards for a lot of reasons in the era of digital and TikTok and all of that. But I think one thing that might be missing for me is that art of storytelling.
Okay.
I feel like, conceptualizing a shoot, a story, putting that together, then onboarding like inspirational photographers you love, your hair and makeup artists, scouting for shoots. Like back then we didn't have producers. The fashion editors were also producing the shoots. So I was recceing locations, looking for locations. I was always finding my locations, casting the models, onboarding casting the photographers and hair and makeup artists, and brought together these teams. And then it's like shoot day, which I really miss that. I miss being on shoots and sets and producing this story or this shoot, and then kind of seeing it in print. Honestly, there's nothing like it. Like I do miss that feeling of seeing your work come to fruition. And back then, influencers weren't a thing. They didn't exist.
No.
So all the ad money was going to magazines.
Yeah.
And that was funding these extravagant, amazing cover shoots we were doing. So we flew to LA to shoot Kendall and Kylie Jenner. We shot, just before I moved to New York, I went to LA, and the editor at the time said, can you shoot Kylie again? We went to this incredible mansion in Los Angeles. Like, things would just happen, you know?
Yeah, wow.
It was just such an amazing time. We did a shoot at the Beverly Hills Hotel.
Yeah.
No permit. I was with I won't mention his name, but a photographer who now lives in New York. And I was like, do we need a permit to shoot in front of the Beverly Hills Hotel sign? He's like, no, everyone, the whole crew, just wait across the road.
Yeah.
And me and the model will just take a quick shot. And that was like sponsored by Chic Clothing. Like it wasn't, like the influencer surge hadn't happened yet. Influencers weren't a thing. There was no such thing as that. So that's where all the ad money was going. And we were producing these incredible shoots and telling these beautiful stories. And I do miss that. It was an incredible era to be part of.
Amazing.
And I feel really lucky because I know there's some like people now, and like I actually love Gen Z. I was talking to your producer about this before for so many different reasons. But there are some people that are like the dinosaur magazines, like blah, blah, blah. And I understand what they're saying, but truly I feel so lucky and grateful to have been part of that era.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it.
No. I want to hear more about this shoot with Kylie and Kendall, because I feel like people will really want to hear about that.
Yeah.
So were they shot for the cover?
They were shot for the cover.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was when, I think it was, if anyone's like a true Kardashian stan or fan, it was when like that episode that Kendall's like made this little portfolio for Kris Jenner and takes it to her mum and she's like, I want to start modeling. It was that era.
Oh, okay.
And they were just kind of coming, they were really young. I think they were like 14 and 16 or 15, 16.
Yeah.
They were very switched on even at that point.
Yeah.
Like they were very aware of their surroundings,
Yes.
like covering up, looking at because I think Kim was at the height of her fame then, so people were noticing who they were.
Yeah.
But it was right before Kendall kind of accelerated with her modelling.
Oh, Kendall, yes, sorry.
It was before that. It was when Kylie was dating, behind the scenes, Cody Jenner, and she was having issues like boy problems, and she was like, he's not texting me back, and Kendall was like super professional and was like, just put your phone down, like we need to get this shoot done, like get up and work, you know, it was crazy.
See, I was a late watcher of the Kardashians. I watch it now, but previously I didn't really get into reality television until COVID.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I didn't, and now I'm just hooked.
Yeah,
I just love it. I think I used to judge people.
Yeah.
for
Well,
reality.
it's like Christina Applegate was like, you know, she has that illness, and she was saying like
Yes.
Bravo is her mental escape.
Yeah.
And they say that it's like it is for me. Like if I've had a hard day at work, I'm like chucking on a Housewives episode.
Well, I've just realised
Yeah.
I've got a Housewives episode to go home to.
There you go. Isn't that exciting?
I usually watch it on a Saturday, and I was so busy yesterday that I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
So how exciting! I guess
So exciting.
Get to go home and watch that.
So sorry.
No,
I
that's okay.
intrusive thought that it wasn't. Okay.
No, amazing. No,
I was like,
we love your work.
If it's been
Double
if there's
check.
a malfunction.
No. Thank you for checking.
Okay, so I'm just always interested in the details. When it came to planning that shoot, did you have someone on the ground over there planning it for you?
No, we did it all ourselves from Australia.
So did you take a photographer over?
We hired a photographer, Amanda Freeman, from over there. And we were in talk, me and the editor and the fashion assistant at the time, we all worked together. And it was actually quite a big process, even taking the clothes over and the suitcases over. There's like, actually, the name has escaped me at the moment. There was like this name for it in terms of customs to try and, like, just the logistics of it was actually really difficult.
Yeah.
Because I look at businesses now that launch overseas, like a lot of Australian brands.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are you doing it? Like, it seems so much, like there's less hoops to jump over. I mean, I'm talking like 2011 era.
Yeah.
So this is a long time ago. But all the logistics were done from here. We hired a photographer, and then she put us in touch with the hair and makeup artist that she works with over there. I think they also had someone that they preferred.
Yeah,
on their own team
that
came along. We were kind of like, oh my God, imagine if Chris Jenner walks in, we'll all have a heart attack. But yeah, it was at the Le Petit Hermitage Hotel in LA.
Yeah.
We obviously had to pay for that.
Yeah.
Again, but that's when magazines had budgets because there wasn't the influencers and the money going there. So it was all going to magazines and shoots. It was hard work.
Yeah.
But it was so worth it. It was so much fun.
So when you were in the fashion, when you were at Girlfriend, how many shoots a month were you doing?
I think we were doing 2 to 3 a month. Oh, 2 a month, like a main fashion shoot.
Yep.
Or Storywell for Americans. And then we had like smaller shoots. So, I mean, you had 4 weeks to produce it. You had ample time. And then we had like our flat lay, like still life pages that we had to shoot, like as our BAU, you know, we had in-house photographers. So, yeah, it was a lot of work. I don't think it was hard in terms of like using your critical thinking skills. And like, I feel like beauty writing, it might not seem hard, but it is, you know, you're researching ingredients and you're talking to dermatologists. And I think that side of your brain you're not using in fashion. Like, you do really have to think a lot more in beauty and beauty writing. But it was still hard work and it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was,
How fun.
So
it
fun.
sounds actually glamorous, would you say?
It was so glamorous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it was amazing. And I had just worked at Girlfriend. Imagine all the people that worked in like Harper's and going on for Mills and all that kind of stuff back in the day, you know?
So how long were you there for first?
I was at Girlfriend.
Yeah.
I was only there for like 2 years and then I made the big scary move to New York.
So tell me about that.
Yeah. So I told my family I was going because of work, which was half true.
Yeah.
It was because of a boy.
Oh, okay.
Didn't work out. But yeah, I got to do some amazing stuff there. And I was just talking about this I don't want to talk about this too much. I don't want anyone to come after me. But I think the tall poppy syndrome here does exist, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
And it existed then. Whereas when I moved to New York, I ended up signing with Bernstein and Andruli, which is a really top, reputable agency.
Okay.
And I feel like they did help, but I also remember reaching out and doing my own hustling.
Yeah.
And I do love the hustle culture there, but things just happen. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like people there just give you opportunities.
Yeah, give you a go.
They give you a go. They really give you a go. And I feel like here you can be stuck somewhere or have a lot of experience and people still don't really recognize that.
Yeah.
And especially as a person of color, it's hard.
Yeah.
Whereas over there, it's just, it moves fast. People just give you a chance. I mean, I just reached out to someone who put me in touch with Jason Remburn, who's like a huge celebrity stylist. And the next day he's like, hi, this is Jason. Please come to this shoot and assist me and pull these looks. And it was, I can't remember her name, Laverne Cox from Orange is the New Black. And I'm like, what is my life? Like, this has just happened in a matter of 48 hours and this would never happen in Australia.
No.
Like, let's be real.
So when you said you were signed, what were you signed? What were you signed as? A stylist?
A stylist,
okay.
yeah. But it was hard because I feel like back then, you know, there was more focus on their photographers because that's, you know, their cash cows and they're getting the big jobs.
Yeah.
So you did have to, even though I was signed to a reputable big agency, it was a lot of self-hustling as well. And I remember, I'll never forget this, and I wrote this in my notes. I remember getting to New York and signing with Bernstein and being so excited to finally move there. I was in a cab and I drove past and I looked and it felt so serendipitous. I saw the Condé Nast building and I was like, I was very much in my manifesting area. I've since gotten a bit pessimistic since then. But I was like, I'm going to be in that building one day. I am. Like, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to be in that building. And I wasn't in the Condé Nast building, but I ended up in the Hearst building.
Okay.
Because I reached out to the fashion editor of 17 magazine.
Yeah.
And I was like, hi, like, I'm a stylist. I used to be the Fashion of Girlfriend magazine. Like, what are the chances this woman is going to write back to me? Emails me back the next day. Yeah, I've seen your work at Girlfriend. Sorry, what?
Oh, wow.
What are you talking about? And I immediately emailed my editor, even though I'd left Girlfriend. I was like, do you know 17 Magazine's fashion editor knows about Girlfriend? Like,
Yeah.
this is crazy. And she was like, yeah, please come to the Hearst building, like, next week if you have time. I'd love to meet you for a coffee. Like, we're open to freelancers. Incredible. Like, things just happen. People, yeah, she was amazing. She was such an incredible lady. And, yeah, she really liked me, and she would book me every month or so on a shoot. I did, like, 3 or 4 17 main fashion shoots.
Yes.
And then she put me in touch with another stylist, and I shot for Refinery. The money was where the advertorials, though. I mean, it's
Yeah.
New York. Like, they
Yeah.
have money for the ads, you
Yeah.
know? So,
Wow.
Yeah.
So how long were you there?
2.5 years, almost 3. Not that long. But
So what years is that?
2014, 2015, 2013, 2014, 2015. I know how long ago that is.
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
And where'd you live?
I lived in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Williamsburg?
didn't live. No, I didn't. Williamsburg is so expensive. That's where celebrities live.
Oh, is it?
So I lived like in the non-cool part of Brooklyn, but it was where my ex-partner
Yeah.
lived. So we lived there, kind of like across the road from Jersey, across the pond.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was just such. Like, living in New York for me was like the highest highs and the lowest lows.
Okay,
Because I think a
yeah.
lot of Australians,
Yeah, true.
it's probably the same now, at that time didn't really talk about the hustle. Like, you'd see
Yeah.
all these amazing things they were doing and creating, but people didn't know they were working at bars at night, or working in
Okay.
shops, or doing all these other
Yeah.
things for another revenue stream or income.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not like the sparkly jobs that they're going to talk about. But it was such a hustle. But then when you hustled, you ended up getting these amazing jobs that you would never get
No.
in Australia, you know.
Yeah.
I
So-
shot Meghan Markle.
Did you?
Yeah, for Gritty Pretty magazine.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So Eleanor, who's now the founder of Halo Beauty, as you probably know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so she at that time obviously had just launched Gritty Pretty.
Yes.
And yeah, Meghan, sorry, do you want to know this story?
Yes.
Okay, so Meghan
No,
Markle.
you're
at
just
that-
making me remember things.
Yeah, so this was right
That's
before she was
Suits?
she was on Suits,
Yeah.
and she had like a lifestyle blog, and she was a huge fan
So
of.
she's always had that.
Yeah, and she was a huge fan of Eleanor and Gritty Pretty, and they had met at Fashion Week and bonded, and then she was like, "I'd love to do a shoot with you," and then reached out to me because I was living in New York, and was like, "Can you do a shoot for Gritty Pretty with Meghan Markle?" And we got Christian Blanchard, a photographer, who was in New York at the time, and we just did it, and it was insane in this hotel. We got clothes sent over from Australia.
Oh, wow.
And then literally like 3 or 4 months later, I get this DM from an old editor I used to work with and was like, do you know your fashion shoot with Meghan Markle is on the cover of Hello magazine because she's now dating Prince Harry?
Oh
and I
my
was like,
gosh.
what? I was like, this has got to be a joke.
When did she start dating Prince Harry? Was it that long ago?
Yeah, I can't remember. Or maybe it was like a year after or something. Someone was like, your
wild.
shoot is on the cover of Hello magazine. It was on the cover of all these magazines. She's now a duchess. We're like, what is happening?
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you keep in contact with Megan at all? Like,
No, I can't say I did. No, I can't say I did. Yeah.
an Instagram friend?
No.
And how'd you find her? Like, was she pleasant?
People
Was she-
ask me this all the time. It's so funny because I've had people be like, you need to go on TikTok and talk about your career and all these things
Yeah.
you have. But it's just, it's not me to, like, this is one side of TikTok I hate is
Yeah.
like people love this salacious, like, she was like this and I found her to be
Was she
mean. And
pleasant?
it's-
I mean,
She was pleasant.
yeah, that's what I mean, I just think you just need to be pleasant and kind.
Yeah, she wasn't like the warmest person in the room, but she wasn't rude by
Yeah.
any means. No,
Yeah.
I think she was just very professional, I would
Yes.
say. She
Yeah.
wasn't like there to have a chin wag, but
No.
she was
I mean,
super
some people are,
professional.
some people
yeah,
aren't, right?
Yeah,
I think it's kind of like, and also, it is work
exactly.
for people, and I
And I
think,
prefer professionalism
Yeah.
over like floofing around.
yeah,
You know?
because let's get the job done.
Yeah. As long as you're not rude. We're
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I am.
Yeah,
as long as
yeah,
you're not rude,
that's
I'm like
it.
fine with anything.
Yeah.
Just don't be rude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just be high, pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, you must have experienced every kind of personality.
Oh, I
doing-
think you do. And I think people think that you only experience that with working with people with profiles. But to be honest, you experience rudeness with people who at a wedding or a
Yeah.
guest.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think personality types are personality types, and I think because I always try and make people feel really, really comfortable. If someone doesn't make me feel really, really comfortable, then I instantly think not the worst, but I think maybe they don't like me. But they just might not be that kind of a person.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Totally.
So I think that's come with age. Like you're not going to be best mates with everybody.
No.
And that's
no.
okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
So yeah. So when you were in New York, did you have another job or were you just
I did. I had to have a side hustle. I worked in an antique store.
Okay.
And I worked at a cafe on my street.
Okay.
Yeah, and these are the things that like I was very open about, and I knew a lot of other Aussies and friends of friends who were working at bars. I knew someone who was doing like, other work that they didn't want people to know about, but they had to do what they had to do to hustle.
Yeah.
And there's absolutely no shame in that.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not. No.
Yeah.
Definitely no shame. I mean, I know people here who, models especially.
Yeah.
They model full time and a lot, but they sometimes still have to have a side hustle because they need to pay the bills.
Pay the bills.
And bills,
That's right.
Bills in
Yeah.
Sydney are big.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are big.
Yeah.
So when you finished any other New York stories you can drop in there
Ooh.
because we love a little New York
Oh my gosh!
story.
I mean, seeing celebrities all the time was the norm there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nothing in terms of work, like it was crazy. Like I said, you just be on a shoot with like a celebrity, someone's like telling you to rock up, and you're like, wow, amazing. I think there was like an athlete, 17, was like, we're doing this shoot, can you pull these looks? And we're going to Philadelphia in the morning. And I was like, great, cool. But yeah, I'd see celebrities all the time. It's not like LA where people run up to them and they're like, it's just like, I remember going to Whole Foods and walking past Tobey Maguire and being like, hey, how's it going? Yeah,
I know you. How do I know you?
Yes, sat next to a cafe next to like Christina Ricci. You
Yeah.
know. It's just so, New York's a crazy, wild, fun place.
Yeah.
Recording?
Yeah, it is. Sorry, I just had a moment where I couldn't see it.
No, totally.
I totally freaked out. When did you come back to Australia?
I came back to Australia like mid 2016.
Okay. And then what? What happened?
And then I took some time off just because I'd had a breakup and it was a lot. And then I ended up becoming the fashion director at a bridal magazine. Which was so crazy. And at the first I was like, this isn't fashion, it's bridal. I don't want to work in bridal. But it ended up being the best job in terms of work environment I've ever had to this day.
Okay.
Like the best editor I've ever had, the best colleagues I've ever had. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. And then that's when I felt the shift in the industry.
Magazines.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So it was like 3 or 4 months. We were like literally at our computers working on the next issue, and these guys with suits just walk in, and then like everyone like stopped typing. Like it was like a movie, and they're like, basically you've all been made redundant today. So pack up your stuff and go home. And I was just in so much shock.
Yeah.
Like I was like, is this legal? I've since been through another, like 2 redundancies. And like, that's what our industry is. Like I talk to friends and peers in, big conglomerates or other places. And they're, even where I work now, there's redundancies and it's so hard. But it's just, it's so hard, but I'm so unfortunate I have to say this. It's part of the, it's part of the industry. But so we, over the course of the next few years, we saw magazines starting to fold, and like the social media arm of these magazines that were often ignored and isolated, looked down upon, was growing. So it was like that's when the pivotal time started happening.
So was that 2016?
Yeah, and then
17,
18.
Onwards.
Yeah, onwards, yeah.
So do you remember how you felt at that time? Did you have fear, or did you have...
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, everything. Fear, worry. Like, also, back in that day, it was like this whole thing, like, pay your dues, right? So you went to university, it's 4 years, and then you had to intern for, like, I was, like, the longest-running intern. I interned at Dolly magazine for, like, 3-4 years, and then the fashion assistant job came up and someone else got it because their uncle knew the publisher or something. And then the fashion editor at the time was like, I'm so sorry, this is so unfair, like, you should have got that job, but because of the connects. And then I remember later I ended up becoming the fashion editor of Girlfriend, and then she had become the fashion editor of Dolly, and she was actually such a wonderful person and also super talented at her job.
Yeah.
So even though she got it that way, she actually ended up 2-3 years later, we were on the same level, and she emailed me saying, this is so well deserved, I'm so happy for you. And I was like, what a class act. Like,
that is a class act.
Yeah, and it was such a full circle moment. But yeah, the first redundancy, scared, worried, what do I do? And that's when I had an old editor say to me, hey, she was working on Who magazine, who wants to build out their online lifestyle vertical? So that includes a bit of fashion, mostly beauty, a bit of entertainment. And I was like, yeah, no worries, I need a job. So it was so nice to be back in the Pac Mags building. It's not called Pac Mags anymore since they merged, but it was always a really nice building.
Yeah.
Like, I preferred it to our competitors. And that's when I fell in love with beauty.
Okay.
I was like, this, why haven't I been? I was getting tired of fashion. I was getting tired of doing the pools and, like, even just presenting. Like, I felt like I always had to have an expensive handbag, shoes. I'd go to Fashion Week, and I'm like, actually, this is not me anymore. And that's one thing we can touch on later that I prefer about beauty and fashion, is that it is more, I still think there's something to be said about aspiration and inspirational content, but I like that it's more real and accessible. And I felt like I couldn't sustain, like, I was looking at the other stylists and fashion editors who are constantly in new handbags and came from affluent backgrounds. I was like, I can't keep up with this.
I mean, that's something I wouldn't never even think of.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose I think of it a little bit more now in the work that I do. I think, oh gosh, do I need to look a certain part to go to that next level? But then I sometimes think, that isn't who I am.
That's how I feel. That's how I felt.
I'm not that person.
Yeah. And that same editor always said to me, you're such a fashion girl in the sense that you love fashion, you're good at it, and like lifestyle, but you're not a fashion girl in terms of the industry. It's so not you. And I'm like, that's so true. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just, I don't know, I was just talking to Kate.
Yeah.
And because I think fashion people are really cool.
Yeah.
And I've never
They are cool.
I've never been cool a day in my life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But what is cool?
I know,
like, you know what I mean? Like,
I know.
I look at people now, and I say this all the time, and I say this on our work podcast, is I look at my cousins who live in Melbourne. To me, they are my style icons. I say this all the time. I don't look at celebrities anymore for style inspiration. I always look at them. I'm like, you two are literally my style icons.
Love that.
Yeah.
Melbourne, since moving away from Melbourne and going back there, I was like, yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Melbourne is, it's so different.
Yeah. They're so...
The fashion is so different.
They're more... they explore more. They're more curious. They have more fun with their outfits. We're very polished.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
No.
We're just not as experimental, I would say. Or maybe we are. I don't know. No one come for me.
No, I mean, you're allowed.
Yeah.
We can all have our own
but
opinion. I agree.
Yeah.
But I didn't realise it until I moved away from it and went back and saw it. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
But then I suppose it depends, like the climate lens, it's cooler. It's not as hot. And I think when you're hot, you just do anything to cool down.
That's it. Yeah.
Do anything to cool down.
Yeah. Exactly. But anyway, that's basically that's where I was introduced to beauty.
Okay.
And I started learning about ingredients and writing about them and interviewing derms and I was like, wow, this is where I want to be. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So would you say you're more beauty than more skincare beauty than like makeup, or do they cross over?
I think they cross over. I think it's like a holistic thing, and where I work now, we cover all categories. We have to, but we also have a roster of amazing writers. So we have derms that write for us, and we have content creators that will do makeup stories and build that out into an article. But we also, we have trade articles, so a brand will pay for a piece, and that can be across any category: hair, makeup, skin. And a booming category, I would say now, in terms of rising trends, is wellness. So beauty from the inside out. So supplements, but even like in clinic treatments and things like that. Like even we're seeing a lot of stories and articles of people who are writing for us on like their wedding skin prep, and that's just it's a holistic routine of in clinic treatments and topical. It's not just relying on topical anymore, and that's so interesting to see the rise of injectables in clinic treatments. But even like, to help with your melasma, you're going to go do 4 treatments at a clinic. You're not going to just rely on like a serum, you know?
No, true.
Yeah.
I feel like now, because I've been into skincare my whole life.
Right.
And had a lot of treatments done. And I feel like now that what you can do at home is very similar to what you could do years ago in clinic. Mm-hmm. I feel like, but then there's more advanced treatments that you can't do at home that are in clinic kind of things. Yeah. So, yeah, for me, it's hard to know what to go into clinic for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what's worth it and what can you do?
I mean, this is what we cover on the podcast I do that's just about beauty. Is my co-host is a dermal clinician, and this is what we break down. And even for me, I was asking the same questions.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realise how much you can treat. Like, I've talked about my aunties who, you know, they have South Asian skin and they have that muddy... you know, melasma, and that's, you know, rooted in their, you know, heritage, but then they've come to Australia where our sun is so harsh and that actually, like, inflames your pigment and helps and makes it spread. That's why staying out of the sun and being so diligent with sun safety is so important when you already have melasma. But things like that, even like... like spots on the hands, rosacea. There's just so many things. Acne, like adults get hormonal acne. There's just so many things that your topical skincare can help you to a certain degree, but you really need... and there's so many advancements now. Like you listen to derms like Morpheus Age and all these things,
so
and you're like,
I want to know more about.
And it's not like your standard like back in the 90s, like you know, the Samantha like facial peel that turns you off. It's like really advanced, amazing stuff. And
like
even for me,
stuff.
I'm so pro. Like, I'm not against injectables at all. No. I haven't gotten it yet, and I'm sure I will. But I'm so interested to hear about these other treatments that can help with longevity, is the new buzzword, right? In terms of clearer skin, glowy, you know, and then to maintain in between is where you want to invest in your skincare.
See, I've never had injectables.
Wow, you look amazing.
Oh, you're so good. I suppose I'm lucky. I'm not someone who'll wrinkle. I'm gonna sag, right?
Yeah, okay.
And it's happening. I am so fascinated in facelifts. If I can speak.
Yes.
I am. That is where I'm heading towards. Yeah. And also bleph surgery.
Right.
Yeah, okay. I'm really, really interested in that stuff.
Interesting.
Like just like the lower face, like the neck facelift, the lower face, the bleph. But I would love to know about... I saw a friend of mine on Instagram. She went and had this like facial done, and it's meant to like be lifting for your face and your neck.
Lifting, right? Yeah.
So I'm like, I want to know more about that.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so many things. Yeah. Was it the buccal? I'm butchering that. In the mouth. Like I've had like clinics reach out to me like, do you want to come in and do I'm going to butcher the name, but BUCCAL massage to help with. But I do believe in like sculpting and like even at night when I'm putting my serums in, I do this, and I do believe in lifting the skin. And the facelift, like we said, we've seen these faces that are just looking incredible, like Lindsay Lohan, Kris Jenner. Like, what is this new facelift everyone's getting? Because they look incredible, I'm not going to lie.
They do look incredible. But one thing that I'm really concerned about for myself, I now, this is really terrible to say, but I now notice, like, so if I'm watching a show, I'm like, oh, that lady's, she's actually aged. She's actually normal because she hasn't had all the work done. Yeah. So I notice when someone hasn't had it done when someone has.
Yes.
Do you know, and I don't want to say, I'm all for women, do what makes you feel good, but I'm really upset that that's what I'm seeing.
That's
and
what
that's
you're picking up.
Yeah.
I know, it is,
Because I feel like we're
not letting ourselves age.
No.
Yeah.
I know, and I just, anyway.
It's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah. Maybe another whole podcast episode.
Yeah, that is a whole podcast episode, for sure. Now, I've drifted off what we've been talking about.
No, so fine.
what does your day-to-day job involve? Like, is it testing out products?
Yeah, it's
what
it's
do you do?
reviewing, and I think what sets where I work apart is that we do have those in like real life reviews where we are testing a product and we're giving our honest thoughts. And obviously we work with brands and we try and be as honest as we can be, but you know, showing our skin and showing makeup or whatever it is, like, you know, I discovered my favorite concealer through this job because for me, beauty isn't just a surface value thing. Like, I have really genetic dark under eye circles, and it's been one of my biggest insecurities. And as a South Asian woman, there's so many women like me who have those genetic dark circles, and for so long we didn't either have a shade range or a concealer shade that would help mask that. And so we were just walking around, and I've talked about this before, like an ex who was like, "Whoa, you're carrying luggage under your eyes," and I just felt horrible, disgusting man. And I was like, I can't believe you said that. Like, and so not to like pander to the patriarchy, but just have someone like me having like now a brightening concealer that's full coverage with my shade range and my shade match, where I did grow up in the 90s where, you know, my best friend wasn't a person of colour and she would try everything on when we'd go to Target and everything would look good on her. I'd put it on my skin and it would be chalky and disgusting. And so it's just like to be able to discover that even at work and tell other people about it, other people who look like me, and be like, hey, this concealer's amazing, and it might, you know, like, I love that part of the job. Yeah. So yeah, it's that. We have a podcast, a beauty podcast, Adore Beauty Expert, but shout out. But yeah, so we do a lot of writing, and we also have like advertorial content, and then we have events. So like sometimes we'll host some of our brand events. So it's just a whole, you know, and then our BAU like admin stuff, that the non-glamorous stuff that people don't see that we have to do, like budgets and invoices and you know, things like that take up a lot of your time that people don't realise.
They do,
but a lot of training as well, which is needed, I think, now, even with AI overviews for online articles. So like SEO training and optimizing and that kind of thing, which I think has really been helpful.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah. But lots of reviewing products. You know, the thing that I love about my job is when brands release products, we're often the first to know about it when they stock at a door. So like, we'll have our RMs come to us and be like, this brand is launching this new serum or this new lipstick, and it's like this and it does this, and we just get so excited. And then just as a team sitting together and being like so excited about this launch that's going to come out, and testing it and telling the people about it is just, it's so fun. Yeah.
I want to know the concealer.
The concealer is Estee Lauder Double Wear, you know, the Double Wear, not the dewy one, but the new one that's like more matte in the square tube. Okay. It's that. And Clinique, even better all over concealer, used to be my go-to. Like, I've written about it so many times. But because it has more of a dewy formula, I get a lot of creasage and it would settle in my lines. Whereas the Estee Lauder Double Wear concealer is a bit more matte. Yeah. And even though it's matte, because the word, as a dewy girl, the matte throws me off. I have it on today. It's not like dull, right? It's still brightening, and I don't need as much product. Like the Clinique, I still had to layer. Yeah. This is like 2, and it's so. If you have dark circles or any clients with dark circles, I'm telling you, this is incredible.
Amazing.
I love it.
So this is a new formula.
I think so, because they had that other one in the sleek round tube. This is
I think I tried this. I think I tried the round one.
Yeah, and that's good for people who, if you have clients who don't have super dark circles, but you want that hydration. But this is for like your clients who have the deep set.
Are you just putting that on, or are you putting corrector underneath it?
Okay, controversial. I'd love to know your thoughts on this too. I was so against correctors for such a long time. I had makeup artists and friends be like, you just haven't found the right one. And I tried those iconic correctors from like NARS and Bobbi Brown, and they just didn't really do anything for me, and I didn't like them. But recently, crazy, because it's such an affordable one, I tried the Maybelline one for work, and it completely changed my concealer game. It just made it extra brighter. I didn't need to go through my concealer as much because I only needed to put a little bit on because I had the colour corrector underneath. Yeah. And now I'm all about colour corrector.
I do think you really need to find the right shade. The right one. And to be honest, I don't know if your right shade would have been around.
No, that's probably true.
I feel like it was... I feel like they had sort of the 2 orange tones, but maybe there was nothing. You needed the next step up.
Yes.
Which
because the Maybelline one is almost like a yellowy. It's not like that orange, ready, normal color corrector you see. Yeah.
Okay. I do like color correcters, but I don't think they're as easy to use as people say.
Yeah.
Because it's still putting extra product
Yeah.
under the eye. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
depending on what your skin's like, you've really got to work it in. You've really got to find your way of doing it.
Yes,
Do you know what I mean?
that's
That works
right.
for you because
Yeah.
it's still layers and layers and layers.
And I'm not a makeup artist, so
Yeah.
I struggled with using them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, definitely finding the right shade and definitely finding the right... Sometimes I find they can be a little bit greasy, oil. Like maybe like they're not... Like what you're saying with the
Like the
Estee
chalk-
Lauder,
yeah.
Estee Lauder one, it sort of sets, whereas sometimes I feel like they kind of maybe made the job a little bit harder.
Yes,
because you
I
had to
did find that.
set them or something.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
So the Maybelline one,
Yeah, I mean, it might not be
Love
everyone's
that.
cup of tea, but I found for my really dark circles, it was
Okay.
really good. Yeah.
great,
Yeah.
great tip.
There you go.
I'm always up for a tip when it comes
Oh
to
my
things
god, we
like
might
that.
have to do another whole episode on product recommendations. We're going to run out of time. I have a whole list.
Oh,
We can do an olive skin episode.
oh,
Let's
I
do
love
it.
that, love that. What are your favourite? What are they? What are you loving at the moment?
Well, actually, I'm also loving, I think one of your questions later was like your favorite going out foundation. I always talk about how this is my favorite going out foundation. But in terms of long wearing as well, I have it on today mixed with an affordable one. So it's the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation.
Yeah.
In terms of going out, the shade match. The shade matches is just, I have it on today. It's just perfect.
Is it the new one?
I haven't tried the recent renovation, but I still have my old bottle.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it gives that soft focus, like airbrush
Looks
finish.
amazing.
Photographs well. And then I just went over with the e.l.f. Halo Glow, you know, the Charlotte Tilbury Dew.
Oh, yeah.
Just for a bit of highlight, because it's still like more airbrushed rather than dewy. And I always want to look dewy. But I love that. Makeup Forever also do great shade ranges and shade matches for like more olive, deeper skin tones, and they go from like very like fair to like completely deep. So similar to like Fenty. So I love their HD for like going out, but also their Hydra Glow iteration.
Oh, I've heard that one's good. I haven't tried that.
Yeah, for like enough medium coverage because I have a lot of little spots, and so I like masking. Yeah, you can't see it because it's double wear.
Your skin looks velvet.
Oh my god, it is the velvet finish of the Estee Lauder
Yeah, it
double wear.
looks beautiful, but it doesn't look.
Too cakey or overdone.
It doesn't. Yeah, like to me, like I think when people think double wear, they think. I don't know, a lot of makeup.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But like for me, it just looks like it's just your skin.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
And did you? So that's just that on its own.
And then I went over the
With
high
that
points
halo,
with the e.l.f.
yeah.
Halo Glow just for a bit of shine.
Yeah.
In terms of just my base. But
Okay.
yeah, blush and everything's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And what do you put under it?
I've talked about this a lot because I know there's two camps, a non-primer camp and a primer camp, and I'm firmly in the primer camp. Yeah, and I know some people are lucky enough they don't need a primer. Like I have colleagues who are like, I don't need a primer. When I worked in fashion, I would always sit next to the beauty editors and I'm like, how is your makeup lasting all day?
Yeah.
Because at 3:00, my skin is eating my makeup. It's patchy, it's disappeared. And then, like, the first beauty edit, I think it was Elle, actually, who told me about a Sisley primer she was using or something. And it completely changed my makeup game. I can't do my makeup without a primer because I get an oily T-zone as well and it just eats my makeup up. So in terms of, like, having my makeup sit nicer, like creating that canvas, but also for longevity that I need because I have that oily T-zone, I have to have a primer underneath. So today I have the Laura Mercier one. But I love the MAC.
Which Laura Mercier one?
It's like, I got a little, it's like in a pink bottle. It's like a little travel size, but it's like a glowy, illuminating one.
Oh, the illuminating one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I recently for work tried the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Primer.
Yep.
Which left a beautiful,
Is it like a gel? Is it like an interesting consistency?
It's very lightweight.
Yes. Yes. Okay. I'm
Like
just,
pearlescent,
Yeah.
but not like gleamy.
yeah.
And there's really affordable ones. You don't have to go for a Laura. Like NYX does like their glue
Yeah.
primer. You know what I mean? So I have to have a primer to lay down before.
Do you put a moisturiser on under?
I do, sorry. Yeah, I do wear a
Okay.
moisturiser underneath. Yeah,
Okay.
I love the Bobbi Brown Vitamin E face base.
Yep.
Yeah, which is
Okay.
quite thick and occlusive, so it's not for everyone.
So tell me your process. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I cannot use double wear on its own. It's too like I find I can't make it. I can't make it work. I have to mix it with another foundation. Not on me. I'm talking about on clients.
Oh, okay. What
Because
do you mix it with?
Luminous Silk Armani.
You know what?
Yeah.
My content manager at work,
Yeah.
who's also a makeup artist,
Yeah.
she, for her wedding guests, cocktails the same products, I think.
Yes.
She loves Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation for
Yeah.
weddings. And I'm pretty sure she said she cocktails it with double wear.
Yeah, a cocktail for weddings.
And
yeah.
is that to sheer it out, or what's the reason for cocktailing those?
Yeah, well, for me...
Sorry, I love how I've turned this on you.
No. For me, like, I admire people who can use long wear foundation because I actually just can't make it work on people. I don't like how it looks on the skin, but now I'm seeing it on you. I think it looks freaking amazing.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I put it on people and I'm like, oh, it just looks dry.
Yeah, interesting.
And then I have, then you can do what you prep with it underneath. But then if I prep with something underneath, then I feel like it moves too much. Right?
okay.
So it's finding that happy medium.
Yeah.
So for me, I find mixing it with luminous silk, I get a better finish. And I feel
Right.
it looks like the skin
More
looks
uniform.
how I want it
Okay.
to look. Right?
Interesting.
Because I don't really like the look of matte foundations
Right.
on skin.
Yeah.
So yeah, I sort of
Yeah.
struggle in that way.
Yeah,
I'm
so
wearing
fair.
a very matte foundation myself today.
You still look dewy though.
Oh, do
Is that your
I?
blush?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't even really wear blush. I wore
Okay.
blush today. But I'm going to really, because for everyday wear, like I would prefer my makeup to not last than to look too much.
Yeah, right.
Like that's my
Interesting.
thought process.
Okay.
Because I don't like the look of it. Like to me, it's not believable. Does that make
The realness.
Yeah.
You did, I will
Yeah.
say, in case we don't get to it, you did have a question about trends. And I feel like I have noticed that we're moving away from that like heavy baking Kim K era into skin loving finishes and jewelry. And I'm seeing it. And that's, I think, one of the fun things about working in e-com and with brands is that you see and read about their formulations. And we're seeing, like, for example, I think Clarins has come out with a new foundation where they've like merged their famous serum the double serum with a foundation in one.
Yeah, I think
There's so many foundations now where it's like they purposefully formulate them with skin loving ingredients like ceramides, vitamin E, vitamin C. So you're getting like that dewy skin-like finish rather than the matte, heavy, like your Kim K, Kylie Jenner contouring. You're getting soft sculpting and dewy finishes rather than like the heavy. And I like that we're moving that way. Yeah, I do like that.
Things are becoming a combo of skincare and makeup.
Yes, the hybrid.
For sure.
Yeah,
the hybrid.
For sure.
So back to...
Sorry, yes.
So you put your moisturiser on.
Moisturiser on. Usually if I'm going out, it's Bobbi Brown face base.
Yeah.
If I'm doing like the going out, 11 out of 10 like base. Otherwise, just like, whatever moisturizer, like a La Roche Cicaplast or like just my sunscreen, whatever.
Yeah.
And then a primer. I have like 4 on high rotation.
Okay. Do you wait any time?
I do.
I think that's actually the key thing.
I've gotten this wrong so many times.
So tell me about that.
Yeah, because I actually just talked about on our podcast about this hack I saw on TikTok, the democratization of TikTok and beauty. Is this creator was like, and I was like, it sounds so simple, but it's like just waiting a few minutes can change your whole makeup.
Does she talk about the bounce? Is it
no,
that?
What's the bounce?
Oh no, this girl who's a skincare person. She was coming through my algorithm because I don't really follow anyone on TikTok. I just like the algorithm just to deliver to me.
I love that. You're like, what will I get today?
Yeah, I just love that the algorithm gets to know me. And she used to talk. She talked about. She wasn't talking about from a makeup point of view. She was talking about it from an application of all your products point of view. You got to give them time to absorb because of the bounce factor. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
You know what? I really believe that.
Yeah, She called it the bounce.
Yeah.
And I wish I could find.
You know what? You should name this episode "Makeup Hacks."
Makeup hacks.
TikTok
I know.
hacks, honestly. Yeah, it was this. I love that. I'm going to start doing that because I don't know why I feel like that would work when you bounce it in and they all like. Yeah, you've given them time to set.
Sick.
But this was a concealer, and she's like, when you put your concealer on, don't just immediately diffuse or bounce it in. Leave it for like a good 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, which is a long time.
Yeah,
so
it is.
5 minutes is a long time. So I tried it with my Clinique concealer on one. The other one I just immediately bounced in, and then the other I left, and it was wild the difference. Like 4 or 5 minutes later, I bounced the one that I left to sit for a few minutes, and it just covered so much more real estate. Wow. And it was like just the coverage was just I don't know what sorcery this trick does, but it was just like it was so like this the side I didn't wait, I needed to put another 2 layers, and this one I didn't. I don't know how that trick works, but it works.
So you dab it on with
an applicator or whatever.
Okay, so you go dot, and you leave it.
Leave it. Yeah, and then when you like kind of finally apply it in, it just I don't know what it does. Maybe the formula needs time to sit and rest.
Yeah, like it thickens maybe.
Thickens. I don't know what it is, but it just it just offers such better coverage. It's crazy. Yeah, so I do. Yeah, then I do my. So I wait now between steps.
Hold on. So moisturizer goes on.
Yeah,
you wait.
Then primer.
Primer goes on.
Yes. In the day, I usually do a sunscreen too, then a primer. Good. It would be good to know from a derm, like what the order should be between a primer and a like. Should sunscreen be the last skincare product before?
Really? I put sunscreen before primer.
Same.
That's just my thinking.
Yeah, so do I. Then I do a primer, then I wait, and then I'll do my foundation.
Yeah.
And then I have a really weird order. It makes no sense. Then I do my eyes, and then my brows. I have a whole brow process I do.
Yeah, I love your brows.
Thank you. And then I do my concealer last.
Yeah, that makes sense to
and
me.
then I powder a bit with the Huda Easy Bake.
Okay, I haven't used that, but it's very well loved.
Because I get really bad creasage. I've got really dry, creasy under eyes.
Okay. What do you got on your brows? Because
thank you.
They're good.
They're
upright.
So people ask me if I laminate my brows. So I can't commit to like a full-time lamination,
Fair enough.
I like the effect of a laminated brow. And I've got really thin brows.
Yeah.
So I fill them in with like a pencil, any pencil.
I wouldn't say you've got thin. I'd say you've got fine.
Fine. Okay.
It's like fine hairs.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I feel like they have grown over the years.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
I'd say you've got
thank you.
it's just the hairs are quite fine.
Okay.
But they're quite a nice shape.
Thank you so much.
They are a nice shape,
Thank
not quite
you.
a nice shape.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so I fill them in with a pencil. And then this is my like ride or die obsessed with brow product.
Yeah.
So the Anastasia Beverly Hills, not the OG gel, but they've turned that OG cult gel into like
the
tube gel.
Yeah.
That's I like. I like kind of apply it through, then I brush it with the Anastasia Beverly Hills like applicator spoolie. Then with my finger I go like this and I do another push and I set and then I get this like laminated look that stays all day. No residue, no eyebrow dandruff.
I think your eyebrows are the perfect type of eyebrows for this look.
Right.
I don't think all eyebrows are the perfect eyebrows for laminated look. Because sometimes they're really
thick.
They're really long or the hair's really coarse. I feel like with finer eyebrows, I feel like it works really well.
Do you find, because before I was into this, I was like, this is too scary. I was using the Benefit Brow Setter. So for your clients, would you use something less crazy like that if they have?
Benefit Brow Setter?
Yeah, it's kind of like a gel too, but it's not, it doesn't give that hectic laminated.
I used to use the Benefit. I don't pay attention to the name. That's terrible.
No,
but that was the eyebrow
the silver
gel.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters which product you use. I think it depends on the hair texture of your eyebrows.
Oh,
like
true.
I think my eyebrow hairs would be okay for it because they're finer.
Right.
Whereas some people's eyebrow hairs are really coarse
Yeah.
and long.
Yeah.
But it can work well on coarse as well.
Yeah.
But I think if you're brushing them up and they become really
Yeah.
thick.
You look crazy.
Yeah, it can look crazy. So
Yeah.
I think it really depends on your eyebrow.
Yeah, fair enough.
Your eyebrow, hair texture.
Yeah.
I've never talked about eyebrow hair texture
There you
to
go.
anyone. But it's
Good
definitely
tip to know,
But it's
though.
definitely a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So if it's not working on someone,
Yeah.
it could be because of that. Because
Yeah,
of the hair
true,
texture.
true.
So yeah. And what mascara? What's your go-to mascara?
Oh my gosh. Okay. And I'm just saying this with every question, but I have such a thing about this. Okay. So I've used all the fancy mascaras. I've used your Lancome Idol. I think Benefit make incredible mascaras.
Yep.
But I will swear by the Maybelline mascaras.
Okay.
I think you do not need to spend money on a mascara because Maybelline and L'Oreal make the best mascaras.
Okay.
And they are all like under $30 or $20. And the one
Yeah.
that is my go-to that I love that gives me, because I've got like really straight lashes, I have
Yeah.
no curl, I have zero curl, they're not long. It gives me I still have to use an eyelash curler.
Yeah.
I can't not use an eyelash curler, but it gives me length, density and volume. Is not the OG 90s like falsies, the pink, but like the black Maybelline. I'm
Okay.
sure we can put it in the show
Yeah.
notes, but it's like the black falsies mascara that's in like that bubble casing
Okay.
tube. Chef's kiss.
There you go.
I just refuse to use an expensive mascara.
So
yeah.
you curl your lashes and that holds curl?
Okay. You're looking at me.
Because they're curly now.
Yes,
And
so-
I'm like, I'll tell you my mascara thing when you're finished.
I would love to know as a makeup
But-
artist.
but
So
keep-
I use my old school Shiseido.
Yeah.
Shiseido, eyelash curler, mascara, weight,
Yeah.
and so the drive here was half an hour.
Yeah.
I always carry my curler with me but this is my eyelashes personally.
Yeah.
It's like the people with hair who doesn't hold a curl.
Yeah.
So I then do one more,
Yeah.
like before I get out of the car, and then it holds the curl all day.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's
All
like
right.
two, one before, one
Yeah.
like 15 minutes after.
Okay, so I think curling lashes is like,
A scam?
no, I think it's one of the best.
Yes.
If you have not got curly lashes, it's one of the best things you can do. These aren't my lashes, I've got fake lashes on, but
Oh, they're amazing.
my lashes my lashes are actually curly. But they're stumps, they're tiny, right?
Yeah, okay.
So I'm going to give you my mascara
Please.
talk.
Oh
So
my God,
I
please.
have to use tubing mascara.
Oh, okay, yes.
Because I'm a transferer, I'm a pan. Like
Got you.
I can't use anything but tubing.
You know what?
And
I'm going to do this for the people, for your audience. What's your favourite tubing mascara?
I just use the Mecca one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The best one that I've seen for building a lash for tubing is the Hourglass one, but it crumbles on me.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
it crumbles on me.
Interesting.
So,
What about the Clinique one? There's like an old school tubing Clinique
I
one.
might not have tried that
Okay,
one.
okay.
Yeah, I might not have tried that one. So for me, in my kit, when I'm working with, actually, this is my mascara routine for anyone. I do this on models and I do this on clients. I do this on weddings. I will curl the lashes. I will oftentimes curl lashes and do mascara before I do any other makeup.
Really?
Yeah, and
What's that thought process? Like,
So if I do their makeup, right, and then I go in and curl their lashes, I feel like sometimes it disturbs the makeup and it's extra work for me to fix it up and clean
right.
it up.
Okay.
And so there's a waterproof mascara that I use. I get it from W Cosmetics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what it's called. It's in a black tube. I think it's called Heroin Makeup.
We need to talk about K-Beauty as well.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
It's called It's Heroin Lash. I don't know. It's got a strange name.
Yeah.
But it is the only mascara that I have found that holds a curl.
Okay, we're going to need you to link that for all of us in the show notes, please.
So I will, and I've got about 4 lash curlers in my kit because for me, lash curling is just game changing.
What's your favourite lash curler?
At the moment, I have got one that I got from W Cosmetics, but I
Okay.
like the little half ones now.
Oh.
Because the reason I like them is because I can close people's eyes and curl their lashes.
Oh, yes. People are going,
Yeah,
on
some people get a bit
shoots,
like freaked out.
Yeah.
But I'll curl people's lashes first, and then I'll use my mascara, and I use a fan brush to apply my mascara.
Okay.
And then I use a comb to comb it out.
wow.
Yeah, I've got a huge process with mascara, and then I only use tubing on the bottom.
Okay.
Because waterproof mascara, if you're a smudger, it will smudge underneath.
we're going to need you on our podcast.
It will
I think.
smudge underneath. It is.
Yeah, wow.
And And like I've tested this, like I've actually even seen it. Like if I've done hair at a wedding and I'm working with another makeup artist, they might use waterproof mascara, but it's still it's oil. It transfers underneath.
Yeah, when you sweat and
Well, some people don't. Some people don't transfer.
Yeah.
But the only way I can guarantee it is waterproof tubing.
That is a good hack.
Only way I can.
Incredible hack.
And I use
Love
the fan
that.
brush. The fan brush I love the most is the one from MAC. And then I've got this other little eyelash guard that I use. It's from Temu, and that paints it on. That I hold underneath. And you could get them other places.
Yeah.
And I paint it on.
Oh wow.
And so the other reason I do mascara first is because I find sometimes you don't know where you're going with an eye makeup until the mascara goes on.
True.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So it helps to give the direction, like the lift, and I feel like I can see someone's eye better when I do the mascara first.
Right.
And I don't use a lot of powders. I don't use a lot of powder eyeshadows. I use like eyeliners and I use creams,
and then you buff it out.
and then I might buff something light over it. So I don't really get a lot of fallout on it, but I will then apply a mascara again afterwards just to if there's anything settled on it, for example.
Okay.
And my style of makeup is quite a natural, minimal style, especially like for a shoot or even a glam on a person for a event. But then I generally put lashes on them anyway.
Oh, true. Okay.
And then I might marry a bit of mascara with it.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
that's my...
Oh my god, I love
That
that.
is my lash hack.
Thank you so much for sharing.
But I've seen this other lash hack on TikTok that I want to try.
Yes.
This girl, she gets powder,
Okay.
dusts it over her lashes to dry off any skincare, curls them, puts powder on the lash curler so it doesn't stick, curls them, puts some mascara on, then she powders her lash curler again, like so it doesn't stick, and then she curls it while it's still a little bit tacky, and she reckons it stays all day.
Wow.
Oh,
Can you please report back? I need to.
I don't know if I don't
Get on the TikTok.
I don't-
There's so much.
I don't know if I would see. For me to do that version, I'd be worried that the powder would make the underside less black.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes.
But
And I think you need that for a bit of
I am going to try
drama. Okay.
it. I'm not going to try it on me. I'm going to try it on someone else and have very straight lashes.
Love that.
Yeah. Okay.
I love
good.
that.
And now that I can report back to you,
Yes,
and you're so
please.
invested, like
I'm
I am.
so invested.
Yeah.
Please. That's
Okay.
my zero curl lashes. I want to know all the.
Yeah.
lash
Have you ever had a
hacks.
lash lift?
No, but I really want one. Yeah.
Lash lifts are amazing.
Yeah, my cousin gets them, and I'm like, wow, you look amazing.
But you've really got to go to the right person.
Yes, that's what it is.
So
Yeah.
when lash lifting first came about, well, actually, it's been about for a long time. It used to be called lash perming.
Yeah.
And, it was being done back when I was an apprentice hairdresser. We didn't do it. But anyway, when lash lifts first come back into being on trend,
Yeah.
I went and did this wedding and all of the girls had a lash lift. And they all had not great lash lifts.
Oh no.
And lash lifts can make it really hard to put false lashes on.
Right, of
Right?
course, yeah.
So when a
Nightmare.
lash lift is done wrong, the hair all curls back on itself
Oh my god.
and you can't even get a lash in there.
So you had to just leave it?
Oh, do you know what? I managed to get lashes on these girls. I honestly
Wow.
would say I nearly left crying because
Oh no.
because
Doing the Lord's work.
it was before there was a lot of
So
talk
hard, yeah.
about lash lifting. Like whereas now people say if you want lashes on your wedding, don't get a lash
Lift, yeah.
And there wasn't a lot of talk around it.
Yeah.
And for me, I just thought, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah,
I thought I made it about me.
It's so stressful.
It was stressful.
Those wedding days anyway,
Yeah.
and you don't want to look like you're incompetent.
And I
you know?
also wanted them because they wanted like lashes make such a
They
difference.
really do,
Right,
especially in photos.
But
I will say.
and they were the most beautiful, lovely wedding party. But I can still remember it was like years ago, and I
Yeah.
probably wasn't as you get more confidence
Of
with age,
course.
and you know.
Of course.
And I just remember leaving and thinking, oh my gosh, I couldn't
My
get those lashes
gosh.
off. Anyway, now we know. But yeah, we've digressed a lot.
No, that's
but
okay.
I love,
Let's
I love
anchor us
it.
back.
I love it.
I love it. I know. I'm like, we're going to need like a 3-parter.
We are
I'll have to
always
come
do.
back. Yeah.
So you've got we've talked. Oh, do you have any makeup artists
That I love?
Inspire you, that you love. Yeah.
You know who I'm loving at
Yeah.
the moment? And it just reminded me because you said that you don't use eyeshadow, you use... So there's an actress I love because excuse me, I love what she stands for. Her name's Amy Lee Wood. You would know her. She was on like the last season of White Lotus. She has that beautiful gap in her teeth.
Oh,
English,
yes.
love her. Excuse me, sorry. So her sister is a makeup artist that I didn't realize, and she came up on my TikTok algorithm. That's why we love, again, the democratization of TikTok.
Love it.
And she's so fun. Like, she's just this incredible makeup artist, but she looks exactly like her sister, but she'll just be walking on the street or on her balcony, like nothing super professional setup, like so real and raw TikTok. I love that. And she'll just get these pencils, like these colored pencils, and just draw on her eyes, on her cheeks. And you're like, what is she doing? This is crazy. And then the blending power of this girl, and she just blends it all in, and the final look is just incredible. Like, look her up. Her name's Emily Wood, and she's just amazing. I find her inspiring and fun and creative, and just like outside of the typical mold of like what makeup artists are. So I love her. I love Pat McGrath, obviously. Nina Parks, I love her work. I'm probably not as well versed in makeup artists as you, but yeah,
you've seen.
Loving Emily Wood's work at the moment. Yeah. Australian, obviously, you're amazing.
Oh, you're
and our friend
Megan, who's amazing.
Yeah, no one does an eye like Megan, I will say.
Megan is incredible.
Yes.
She's such a great makeup artist.
She is.
Megan Harrison. Go follow her.
Yes.
Send her a DM.
Yeah. She loves a good DM.
What are your ride or die products? Like, what kind
In
of...
what category? Skin, makeup, hair? All of the above?
Let's go skin first.
Skin first. Okay. I think the product I talk most about is the Aspect Probiotic Mask. I love this mask. Some people have used it and they're like, meh, whatever. But some people have used it and they've said, love it. I think if you have dry skin, you'll love it.
Okay.
I don't have dry skin, but I love it before I put makeup on. If I have an event on the next day, I'll use it as an overnight moisturizer. I think the not resurgence, I think like... So I guess surgeons, the new, wave of popularity in sleeping masks has become a thing. Yeah. Maybe slightly because of K-beauty. But, the sleeping masks have become a thing. So I'll use a probiotic mask the night before, like an event or an occasion. And I just wake up with the most, like, well-rested looking skin. So I love that. It's just really creamy, beautiful texture. The ASAP Super Bee is really good.
ASAP
Super Bee serum.
Okay.
A lot of people at my work love it. I recommend it to people if it's powered by niacinamide, which is just like a all-rounder amazing ingredient for everything. Redness, texture, balancing skin barrier support. At the moment, she's very bougie, and I was very lucky to be gifted her. But I think I will invest because I've really seen a change in my skin, is the brand Osmosis. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, I have.
Their retinol I'm using.
Oh, yeah.
And, oh, my gosh, my skin is just bouncy.
Yeah.
It looks healthier. I don't like to say the word youthful, but it just looks healthier and glowier. And K-beauty is having a big moment.
Yeah, it is.
I love this Biodance sheet mask, the pink one.
Okay.
I think it's like a must-have on travel. I did the whole, I reviewed it for work, and I did the whole thing where I slept with it on, and it was so uncomfortable. But I woke up with the dewier skin. Oh. So I feel like now on travel, I'm just always gonna, and they're so cheap for like a 4-pack, they're like $38.
Yeah, that's great.
So just to have in your fridge, in your arsenal, when your skin's like looking lackluster, just chuck one on.
Okay.
So they're probably like, I mean, there's so many. I'd be here forever, but just top of mind.
No, I love that.
Hair, I love the Whey hair oil.
Okay.
And I love the Virtue Healing Oil. For like, when I use that, I feel like my hair is just soft and shiny for days.
Okay.
Also, I saw you did a video on this, and I've talked about how I'm such a big dry shampoo person.
Oh, yeah.
And when K18 came out with their air wash, I was like, I am not going to like an $80 like dry shampoo. Like, this is so ridiculous. And then I tried it.
Yeah.
and it changed my life.
It is good.
And I was like, I hate that this is so pricey because it not only absorbs oil, but it literally extends your wash hair days. It gives you a whole new
Yeah, it does.
hairdo. Like
It is a shower.
It's a shower.
It's a hair wash day in a bottle.
Exactly.
It is.
Incredible.
Yeah. It is amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love a multi-use product. So like the Makeup Forever, the famous Hailey Bieber like palette, the H1 palette that's got like your blush, your contour, your concealer all in one. Also great for travel. I love the Ole Henriksen, like the Road Dupes, the like Pout Preserve.
Okay, I haven't
today
tried
I'm
them.
actually wearing the new Prada. I mean, it's kind of worn off, but the Prada lip glosses. I'm really loving those at the moment. Yeah, I think top of mind, those are like my
That's
go-tos. Yeah. I've tried so many great products. I could do a part 2 episode and give you more recs, but
Yeah, no,
top
that's
of mind,
great.
those are...
You said something. Oh, the Makeup Forever, those palettes.
Yes.
The blushes in that are just such great shades.
Beautiful. And they're quite long-lasting and leave a nice finish.
Yeah, they are a nice finish.
Yeah.
I feel like they're really good shades,
And
actually.
the lip liners.
Oh, their lip liners are beautiful.
So good.
Yeah.
All those chocolatey colours. I must say, I love the resurgence of the 90s makeup. Like the chocolates and the berries. Love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the berries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really love. Well, depending on the skin, like what looks. But for me,
Yeah, for you.
I love a berry tone.
Yeah.
Have you used many long-lasting lip products? Have you tried out many?
I haven't. My auntie just used my staff order to get the Maybelline skin tint thing, but I don't know if I love that. Like I don't know if I want my lip to be on the next day and not be able to come off. But lips is hard.
Yeah,
Lips
it's very
is hard.
personal.
And it's also so hard to find a long-lasting lip because you eat, you laugh, you drink. Like, do you have any good lips?
Well, so I eat my lips off.
Yeah,
like
same.
they just come off. I've tried lots of lip stains. I've tried the peel-off ones.
Okay.
I don't think they're that easy to use.
Okay. What's your favourite long-lasting lip?
It's Rimmel.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it's still on now.
It is.
Yeah, it's Rimmel.
Okay.
And I'll tell you how I found it. I did like these ladies' guests for a wedding recently, and the lady whose makeup I did first up, she still had her lip on from the day before.
Wow.
And she said to me, I'm going to use this lipstick because it lasts. And I was thinking, it lasts because it was still on her lips.
Wow.
I didn't say that to her,
Yeah.
but it was still on her lips, right?
Wow, okay.
And it's really daggy packaging. It's like,
I love
might
that.
even have it's long.
Yeah.
It's got the gloss on one side, it's got the colour on the other. It's a daggy colour. I use it
The
as
colour's gorgeous.
it's probably got lots of different layers on it.
okay.
Yeah. But it's a good base.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't, it almost could stay on all day.
That
It is
insane.
It is, and it doesn't feel that bad.
Yeah, right. It doesn't feel too dry like a...
No.
Yeah.
Not really. Just because aging, your colouring changes,
Yeah.
and I feel like my
Yeah.
lip colour has faded.
Yeah.
So I really want to have that little bit of colour. Like, I feel like it just gives me that little bit of life.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
And maybe it gives me that little bit of confidence or
Yeah.
something.
100%.
So I really, it's the base, and then I'll just put stuff over it.
Like a
I
lip
think
liner.
I've got this.
Oh, yeah, what's that?
Earlier, it's this lip
Oh, yeah,
crayon.
I've heard this brand, yeah.
I've got this
Nice.
all over them now.
Okay. Love that.
I just pick up. I've probably got like 7 different lip products in my
Yeah,
bag that
yeah.
I'll just go
10.
and pick it out
Same.
and pull it out.
Yeah.
So
yeah. In terms of bougie, I like the YSL new lipsticks. They have like a really beautiful buttery formula.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of affordable, that's a good one to know. Yeah.
Actually, K Beauty
Yeah.
have got a really good is it like a gloss?
Oh.
I've got it in my bag. It's like
Yeah.
a gloss that is a stain as well.
Oh, I
but
love
it's not
that.
too glossy
Okay.
and it stays.
Speaking of K Beauty, sorry, one of my other favourite
Yeah.
products is the Tier foundation. Incredible.
Oh,
Amazing. The one, the red.
red. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Like every time I wear that, people are like, what is on your face? It's like dewy, airbrushed. Like you open it, the compact, and you're like, well, scary, and that's not enough product. Also, a little bit goes a really long way. It's just so smoothing. It makes your complexion look really uniform. It's such a gorgeous foundation.
I was sent last week, and I haven't put it in my kit yet, but I tried it on my sister-in-law's face, the La Prairie foundation.
Oh, God, how much was that?
I think it's over $400 a bottle.
Oh, my gosh. See, I cannot justify that. That is crazy.
I tried it on her face, and I was
Was it
like...
amazing?
It actually was.
Yeah. I mean, you'd want it to be for $400.
I need to try it more, but I need to put it to the test more. But I was like, oh, I'll just try it on you. You're here for dinner.
Yeah.
And I put it on her face. And I'm a skeptic, right?
Yeah.
Like, I really am. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's so many new products coming out.
there is.
There's
Yeah,
so much.
so
and I'm just like,
saturated. Yeah.
what more could you do for
Yeah,
me? Right?
yeah.
Are you going to do the dishes as well?
Yeah.
Anyway, I put it on her face, and I was like, oh, it's actually, it looked beautiful
Okay.
on her face. Anyway, I need to try it more.
You know, the Dior Backstage is expensive, but that's also really good.
Yeah.
Do you like that?
I haven't really used it.
It's really good.
Because the first time I tried it, I didn't like it on myself.
Okay.
But they've reformulated it since then.
I think I have the renovated version, and it's really good.
I think it used to have alcohol in it, and it doesn't now.
Oh, yeah, because it feels really, like, non-drying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I need to give that one a crack
I'm still recovering
again.
from the $400 foundation.
I think,
Sorry, I need a glass of water.
Well, I know. It's insane.
It's insane.
It's insane.
What I will
it
say...
has a concealer with it.
Oh, okay, there you go. We might as well, please give me a whole goodie bag with it. I mean, $400, that's a ticket to another state.
Yes.
I will say what I love about beauty versus when I worked in fashion is with fashion, you really are paying for quality, right?
Yes.
You're paying for quality material, for
Yes.
sustainability, for longevity. What the beauty of beauty for me is that the best products sometimes aren't the most expensive.
Absolutely.
Like we've talked about, my favourite mascara is less than $20.
Yeah.
La Roche-Posay Cicaplast cream is
Oh
one of
my
my favourite
gosh.
face creams, especially in winter.
I use the Avene one.
Do you? Oh, I need the Cicafate?
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
Hailey Bieber favourite. And I think you had a question, I don't know if we'll get to it, something about what I'm seeing brands making. And I think where I would invest as a beauty ed and talking to derms and seeing products and brands and what they're formulating and making is your serums are truly like your workhorse product. Sorry, I've gone off on a bit of a tangent.
No, it's great. Love it.
Are your workhorse products. So they're really formulated with those heavy lifting actives, right? Like all the ingredients, the cosmeceutical ingredients. So that's where you want to invest or skin vest, right? And then your bookend products, like your cleansers and your moisturizers, that's where you can save money. So you actually don't have to buy a $300 cream from Lancome or whatever.
No.
You can if you wish, if you like it and you have the capacity and it makes you feel good. But you don't have to. But a serum, a hardworking serum from like your Medicaid, all your cosmeceutical companies like SkinCeuticals, Medicaid, that kind of thing, Dermalogica, that's where you want to invest and splurge because those are the actives that are getting deeper in the epidermis and really the cell turnover and connecting, communicating to your cells, and you're really seeing a noticeable difference. But your moisturizers and your cleansers, like I've tried so many fancy cleansers. Actually, this is my other favorite product that I talk about all the time. A couple of my misses is the Bioderma cleansing oil.
Oh.
And we should be double cleansing, right? Derms will tell you this. But with that, I find I don't even need to double cleanse. I just do one, and then their OG micellar water, I just get the rest of everything off, and then I'm done.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where you don't need to be spending a lot of money on beauty. And that's what I love about beauty versus fashion.
Okay. Yeah. And I think that's the same with makeup though too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
People swear by like the Maybelline foundations and so many others. I think it's what works for you.
For you, yeah.
You know?
I agree.
It's what works for you. And sometimes, you know, people love to spend a lot, like people love that feeling of having that bougie experience. Right?
Yeah.
So, it's what works for you.
Yeah, I agree.
Bioderma by the micellar water by Bioderma is the best micellar water of all
I
time.
agree.
Nothing else
Nothing
compares.
beats it. I know there's a Garnier dupe, but it's just not the same.
Yeah. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
And there's other versions of it, and they're not the same.
Right.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I've tried them, and I'm like, I bought it, and I'm like, oh, out of my kit.
Yeah, get out.
There's nothing like that Bioderma
It's
one.
so good.
When it comes to your role in beauty editing, is there ever times where you do work in conjunction with makeup artists?
Not really. I would say I worked with makeup artists more in fashion,
Yeah,
like
true.
on shoots.
Yeah.
But yes, in terms of like, I love interviewing them and talking to them and
Yeah.
asking them their recommendations. Like I did an article with Megan on how to do a smoky eye with a palette.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, or we did an article on asking 3 makeup artists. Like their skin prep before makeup,
Yeah.
like what products they use. So there's definitely crossover, and I think even with the democratization of TikTok and more diversity, and I know we're going to get into the diversity piece probably next, but it is nice that within that there's also experts, so diverse experts and makeup artists that will show you IRL what's in their bag, and you get you lift the veil and you see it's not like this smoke screen that it was back in fashion. Like you have access to them to get the information from them and deliver it to your audience. Like that piece I quite love. So there's definitely a bit of crossover, and I definitely want to do more of that expert-led content.
Do you think that it's do you think a makeup artist could? I suppose makeup artists are doing it right, where you are making a career out of content, but creating content that then I don't know would be bought by.
Definitely.
Yeah.
For sure. I definitely think they can monetize on their content. A lot of them do. And they should. Like, we all... At the end of the day, like, we love organic, authentic content. But what's to say, like, this is what I believe in, is obviously there's sponsorships and partnerships we have to do because we're paid. But there's also a nice piece where you can collaborate and be like, I genuinely love this product. And I think a good example of this is Gemma Diamond. She's a great creator and journalist, and she's, side note, just a great human.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, good to know. We would like to know who's the great human in the industry. But she has this rule, and if she ever listens to this episode, maybe she can clarify. But I think I remember her saying something like, she won't say, like, she'll say yes to a brand that she obviously loves organically, and then she'll work with them. So, you know, if she's doing a paid partnership, she genuinely loves it.
She's tried it.
She'll say, let me try it first for like 10 weeks.
Yes.
And if I do genuinely love it, then I'll create the content for you. And so there is content creators out there, and same with makeup artists, who I think you can monetize, but do it in a really transparent and authentic way where your audience knows that, this is paid and you're being transparent about it, which they, I think, very much appreciate, but you genuinely love the product.
Yeah, I have seen, because Gemma pops up on my TikTok.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that she does that. She says that she has to use it for a certain amount of time before will actually talk about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's fantastic.
So good.
And also, too, because people, like, they usually want a faster turnaround. And she's like, well, no, this is just how I do things.
And I love that, because it is TikTok and it is so fast-paced that sometimes, like, I think people do crave that authenticity for sure. And I think there's a clever and strategic way you can do it in a paid partnership, like she does so brilliantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any trends that you would just like to see die?
I don't know, like, I'm not to be a fence sitter, but I'm all about exploration. I am glad the thin 90s brow's gone. I don't love that.
Oh, it's back.
Oh God, it's back?
Well, I feel like it's still there.
Okay, well, look, each to their own, but
I feel like it's resurging.
I don't love that. I love a thick French-looking brow.
I like a thick French brow.
But no, nothing I feel super averse to.
I have.
Oh, please do tell.
I cannot bear the sunburnt nose.
Oh, yes. That kind of dangerous messaging trends, I hate. I agree. Yeah.
I just don't. I just like, why would you want a red nose?
Yeah.
Do you know what?
I mean, I haven't been on my nose, but
no, yours is
I agree.
fine.
Yeah, natural.
Yeah.
Not like purposely looking burnt. Yeah.
Yeah, I just, for me, look, it does kind of look, it can look good on some, but I just don't think it's, I don't know. It's just one I'd like to dye.
Yeah.
What are some of the brands that you think are doing really well in, like, diversity of colours and all of that?
Yeah, I feel like Fenty really pioneered that.
Yeah.
And I think it makes a big difference that their founder is a woman of colour. I think sometimes now when we see brands following suit and they're not POC founded brands, it can come off performative, but then you're still glad they're doing it. Versus we see some brands at work and you're like, they'll be like, hey, can you cover this launch? And I'm like, they don't even have a shade for my tone to
Yeah.
cover. So I there was actually one brand where I had to assign the story to somewhere else because they literally didn't have the shade for my skin tone. Even the marketing manager was like, that is horrible. Like, I'm
That
so
is.
sorry. And we still have a bit of work to do. But yeah, Fenty, and then obviously like your brands that aren't POC founded, but they're just so on it with shade, diversifying their shade ranges and offering that completely like, you know, range of fair to completely deep, and it's like 40 shades or whatever,
Yeah.
which is so inclusive, is like your MAC. And
Yeah.
like even Makeup Forever has a pretty good shade range, I think,
Yeah.
the foundation. So yeah, but
Any-
Fenty's obviously.
Any drugstore. I'm thinking.
Drugstore.
What's the Maybelline and that line?
Yeah, I
Actually,
feel
the L'Oreal
like,
True Match used to be good for.
oh, can I say actually the L'Oreal Serum True Match Foundation
Yes.
is one of the best affordable products I've ever used.
Yeah, it is good.
If people like a dewy finish and
Yeah.
they don't want to use their fancy foundation every day and they want everyday wear, get that. It's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think L'Oreal and Maybelline do a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Like I've definitely found my shade in most of their SKUs.
Yeah.
Not all, but most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of any others. But is NARS all right?
You
Do
know
they run a
what?
bit warm?
I actually haven't tried a lot of NARS. I think because the company I work for now,
Oh,
we kind
yes.
of only try
Yes,
what
yes.
they stock. So
Fair
I'm
enough.
not too fit. But that's not to say they don't. It's
Yeah.
just that I haven't tried
Haven't
it.
tried them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you think with your role as a beauty editor, I guess I'm trying to ask, do you fear AI? I know that wasn't something that I.
Yeah, we're going off script here. Of course.
Yeah.
We have conversations about this at work a lot. And I won't get too into it,
Yeah.
but for sure. But, you know, you have one camp who's like, you know, it's not going to take our jobs in the sense that customers still want to see real reviews. Like,
Exactly,
I
yeah.
see a lot of discourse online where customers are like, I don't want this AI generated review or
Yeah.
thing. Like, I want to see it on. And that's kind of linked to why I got into media, is to be that representation I never had or saw.
Yes.
So even as a beauty editor, I want to see another content creator or person or
Yeah.
journalist with my skin tone applying a foundation
Yeah.
or a concealer. I don't want
Yeah.
to just Google it and an AI overview comes with like
Yeah.
options. I want to see the review. I want to see and read the first person review from someone else who looks like me, or a professional makeup artist. Like for me, the tips you've just given me are more valuable than me Googling it in my car and getting
Yeah.
an AI overview of
I know
like,
what you mean.
do you know what I mean?
For
Because
sure.
you've literally played, touched clients. Like nothing can replace that experience
Yeah.
and expertise. Nothing. Like that human expertise, I don't think it can. But it's more not that it can and that customers don't want it. It's that inevitably companies will maybe
Yeah.
want to anyway. But it's just how do you work with it
Yeah,
to
true.
make your work more efficient.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
probably where we're sitting at now. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I could talk to you forever.
No, forever. Yeah. I
Um,
was like, are we going to do the diversity thing? But maybe we just. All I want to say
I
on
know.
that quick
I'm more than happy to keep
quickly
on talking about.
is just. I think you had a question there about diversity in the beauty industry.
Oh,
and
yes.
Just to end
yes,
on this
no,
is
I'd
that
love to.
we might have to do another episode because we could talk forever.
We could talk
Is
forever.
just that when I started in the industry, there was no one that really looked like me, right?
Yeah.
In magazines, in advertorials. And so to see that shift has been incredible and I love it. And you know, look, if there's an event I go to and it's still like just a non-created, just journalist event, oftentimes or not, I am still one of the only people of
Yeah.
colour in the room, which says a lot, and we have a lot of work to do
Yeah.
in businesses and companies and positions and hiring. But I love the content creator surge in the sense that I'm seeing a lot more diversity and
Yeah.
I'm seeing backlash of things that I felt like to this day I can't really express, but to see content creators go, hey, we want to see more diversity
Yeah.
at your events. And that starts from the top, from the PR girls, right? We want to see more, you know, women of colour in businesses, at events as content creators, to be lifted up, to engage with. And so starting where I started in fashion and beauty, and often being the only woman of color in that industry. And then when I get DMs from people, whether they're students or people wanting to be in the industry or in the industry as content creators, being like, I love seeing you as a beauty editor and a woman of color. Like, that to me is my north. Like, that to me is why I keep going, even though I've wanted to give up for so many reasons, so many times. But it's like, no matter what, still try and take up that space, no matter how hard that is. And if I can be that one person to one girl or woman of color or person of color to be like, hey, I can do this too, and I'm gonna like almost force myself in, then that's, I love that. But by the way, diversity, when I've seen that paradigm shift, not just in people of color, but disability, age, everything, size, it's so nice to see campaigns, imagery, and especially content creators in Australia too of colour, and it just makes me feel so happy when I see them in a room, and I'm so glad. We still have a lot of work to do, I think.
We do.
But yeah.
I like that people call people out on it.
I love it. I don't say it a lot, but I sit there and I read everything and I love it.
Yeah, I saw something recently on TikTok being called out about a brand sending a content creator, person of colour, product to try. And, wrote this message about, we love your content and blah, 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 all these amazing things. But then they don't have the shade range to match this person.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a bit of a insult to send them the product and it doesn't match them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, you're trying to do that. I don't know, it's very tricky because one hand they're saying they're trying to be inclusive, but then it's not. Actions speak louder than words,
and that's what you worry, is sometimes it is just performative, because even now, like, whether it's as a journalist or a content creator, sometimes then you do wonder, are you just ticking a diversity box by hiring this person, inviting them to your event? It has to be like a real authentic thing that you're doing, not just like virtue signaling, you know, like offering a content creator product and then not even sending them their shade is like, how that's so easy not to get wrong, or not having their shade, you know, it's just it's not great.
Not having their shade. Anyway,
we might have to do another diversity episode.
Yes, I think so.
We should.
I think so, because we could just talk
forever.
For days.
I love that. It was so much fun.
Is there anything you want to add to, I don't know, if someone, really wants to do something like what you do, a beauty editor, like, is there any advice that you give
I
them?
think the best piece of advice is to be adaptable. Like, I pivoted to beauty and I loved it, but there's so many parts of my job that are not in my normal PD that I just have to do that people wouldn't know. Be adaptable, and sometimes people are just busy. Like, if you reach out to people, just keep trying. Like, I have eventually written back to people who have reached out. It's just sometimes you do get so bogged down in normal work. If there's people you look up to, just reach out to them. I've had people do that to me. We've just had a chat on the side, like a Google Meet. And just, it sounds so cliche, but don't give up if you're a person of colour. Like, take up space. Like, please come in. You know, I've said this in interviews before, because as much as progressive and woke and everything that a lot of people in our industry seem, behind the scenes they're not. And it feels like the system is still very much against them. So it's your job to be like, no, I deserve to be here, because that's what's reflected in the consumer. And we're seeing that on TikTok. Consumers and audiences saying, we don't want to see the same people cut from the same cloth. No. We want to see people who look like us. These are the people that, it's just not one type of person that's buying your products. No. It's reflected in all different types of people. So I would say don't be deterred. Like, people would be shocked even to this day about people who make me feel like I should leave. And it's like, just, you deserve to be there, just like everyone else. And be adaptable. Because the landscape has changed so many times. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Of course, sorry I yapped so much.
No, we can't have a silent podcast, so thank you so much.
Thank you, so much fun.